Hey friends, and welcome back to AmandaMuse. So today's video, I've been inspired by a few people, but definitely Ingrid Nielsen. So she put out a video recently, I guess a couple weeks ago, and it was 28 things she would tell her younger self. So she's 28, and she went through 28 things she would tell her younger self. I've got about 15. I thought about making 33, and then I thought, damn, that's a whole ton of advice, and nobody needs that much advice, because you kind of just have to do your life, and then look back and go, oh, I could have done that differently, you know? So I came up with 15 things, easily digestible, but also kind of made me reminisce about some stuff that's happened over my life. And I kind of broken it out at like childhood, teenage years, young adult, and then that's kind of where I'm at, right? If you're new, by the way, please consider subscribing. I put out videos 3 times a week, and I did just recently announce in my last video a little something about vlogs. If you missed it, click right up here and you can go watch that video. Little forewarning, I am renovating a bedroom upstairs in my house, so it's a little bit noisy right now, and eventually I would love to have my own studio, but for now I'm in my kitchen, and it's happening right up there. Okay, let's jump into it. The first one is one I feel like can be interpreted a lot of different ways, but I kind of wish I knew this when I was young, but it was that nothing is forever. Like if you're growing up in a house where you kind of feel like an alien, I promise it's not forever. Like you're gonna get to move out someday. On the flip side, your grandparents are not gonna be around forever. And if you really love them, like spend time with them, go on your own. And if you can, like have dinners. I did that a lot. Like in college where I went, my grandparents lived pretty close. And so I remember a few times, it was only a handful of times, but it was so special. My grandpa would pick me up after school in his green Volvo that I eventually ended up driving. And then they would take me back to their house. And this is in Montreal days. And I would have like cream of wheat for breakfast and yummy dinners and just conversations that are so different than when your parents are present or your aunties and uncles are present. Like it's a totally different relationship. In fact, when I was pregnant with both my kids, I had these long chats with my grandpa on Skype. Like I was in Malaysia calling my grandma. These were my only grandparents that were left when I was pregnant. They're both gone now. But I mean, I remember even telling my grandpa before anybody else what I was gonna name Jack. And he was so happy, and it was like, oh, I'm like only number 1 in, I'm already getting emotional, but it was like such a special relationship, and they're not here forever. So if you're lucky enough to still have them, spend some time with them. Number 2, save your money. I made a lot of money when I was a teenager. I was actually an extra on a show, a special extra. I was a cheerleader back in the day on Big Wolf on campus, and I made a ton of money, and I wish that I had saved it properly. And I bought stupid things. I actually don't even know what I could have spent all of that money on, to be honest, but it eventually ran out, and it would have been nice to have saved a huge chunk of it. So, you know, take the time to research financial stuff. If you're still young, early 20s, whatever it is, like this is the time to start saving. Shoot, if you could buy a house sooner than later, maybe flip it, lots of options, but save as much as you can. I feel like it takes away so much stress. I think in that same vein, try not to get a credit card. It's seriously not necessary. Number 3 would be to put down the white eyeliner. What was I thinking? Oh God. It was like thick white eyeliner. Do you see this fair face? I didn't even know how to use bronzer back in the day. I'm super white with super white eyeliner. It was a thing. I do not recommend it. So just, thankfully, I feel like young people today, they don't really screw up their makeup as much because there's so many people on YouTube telling you how to do it properly. You kind of can't mess it up. So there's a win for you guys. See, you don't have it so bad. Number 4 would be that you have the choice. So kind of looking at number 1 about how nothing is forever, like you have the choice to choose how you feel. No parent, no relative, no sibling is gonna decide for you what you wanna be, how you wanna feel. You get to choose all of those things. So I know right now, especially if you're young and you're living at home, you feel like you don't have a lot of say in your life, but I just want you to know that this is a temporary thing. I've been a little bit transparent about some of the hardships I had growing up, but I had a pretty hard go. It was a difficult time. I moved out when, in my mind, pretty young. I was 19, and it took a long time for my mom and I to repair that relationship. And we're much better now, but it took a long time. And she's totally okay with me saying this publicly. I did ask before. I've been hesitant to talk about it because I didn't want to hurt her feelings, but it was hard, and there was a lot of paving new paths being the firstborn and going through a lot of firsts with my parents, and it was really, really hard. And I think my biggest breath of fresh air, my biggest takeaway is when I moved out and when I woke up in the morning and there was nobody around to decide how I was gonna feel, and nobody around to sway my feelings or my emotions about things. And let me tell you, that was a damn good feeling. And I think the freedom to choose your own life and to choose your own path, to choose your own emotions is invaluable. Like, it's probably the best thing about being a grown ass person. Tell me if you agree with me, let me know below, because seriously, that was like life-changing. I could go on. And then I guess to add to that, I should say that you have the chance to change things. So if there's something about your life that you're not too thrilled about, and right now you feel like powerless, it's not forever. You're gonna get that chance to make changes, to make choices, and to make it better. And if you find right now you're grown and you're not happy about something, whether it's weight, a lifestyle, partner, whatever it is, job, there is the opportunity to change it. It might not happen immediately, but you do get that chance. That's the beauty of life when you grow up. It's all about the choice. Number 5 would be that he is a one, but not the one. So just have fun, girl. Like, I got so hung up on love, and I loved people so deeply and had my heart broken, and I would just say, oh, sweet girl, just have fun. Like, you know what? It's fun. You're young. It's not forever. Yeah. But not much more to say about that one. Number 6 would be, I'm thinking back to specifically like grade 8 here. Maybe it was grade 9. No, I think it was grade 8. The wet look is not for you. I had a short pixie. I think it was even kind of blonde. I've always played with my hair. So I had the white eyeliner going, and then I had this goopy wet look gel. Oh my God. Like, just thinking about it now, it's so gross. And then my forehead would get shiny because the gel would end up on my forehead. I remember one of my music teachers being like, what's going on here? Because it was a whole lot of situation. So I encourage people to no, Amanda, little Amanda, avoid the wet look. We did it, it's done. It shaped who I am, but I wouldn't encourage it. Number 7 would be to be friends with people who add color to your life. And this is something I still think about to this day. I've often said this on my channel, like, surround yourself with people who uplift, who encourage, who also even challenge you in a positive way to maybe think about things differently or step outside of your comfort zone. But you know, if you don't want to be a smoker and you're hanging around a bunch of smokers, and that just comes to my mind because I think about high school and like smoking at the Blue Doors or whatever people were doing. I wasn't doing that. But, you know, surround yourself with those kinds of people, because birds of a feather tend to flock together, right? And if you want to do well at school, hang around people who study. If you want to think positively about your body, hang around people who don't put you down and don't call you names. So like, friends can be so influential at every stage of life, and I think it's just so important to be very selective in who you surround yourself with. And in that same vein, very selective about who you choose to be your life partner, because it'll change the course of your life. I kid you not. Number 8, and this sounds a very like generalized statement, but just be yourself, baby girl. Like, I was pretty shy in high school, and my personality has always been very sharp, very witty, very bubbly. I like to have a good time, and I love to laugh. And sometimes I felt like the people I was surrounding myself with didn't encourage that, or maybe felt threatened by me as a person and didn't want to really like get on board with who Amanda was. And I feel sad for that little Amanda. I was so shy, and I just felt like I didn't really quite fit in. You know, my parents didn't have a lot of money, so I didn't have all the right clothes to like play the part. And I think that can kind of affect a young person. But if I could go back and just tell that girl, just be yourself, shine bright, don't dim your light for anybody. Just do you. And I think I still preach that message now, even more so now because I'm that much more confident. But yeah, just be you, you know? Number 9 is a bit sappy, but I truly feel this in my heart. And it's like, I wish I could tell that young, a little bit nervous, a little bit apprehensive about what the future was gonna hold. Just tell her that like your happy ending is coming. You know, your hard work, your ability to choose the right person to spend your life with, it's coming. Your happy ending is coming. So just like, don't worry about it. It's gonna be okay, you know? And I know I still have a ways to go. I still have so much life to lead, but I know that I've made the right choices and I've put the right people in roles in my life that are gonna help elevate and just add color and love and all of those things. So it's coming. In that same breath, number 10 is that adventure awaits. I would dream, like when I was young, I thought I was gonna be a doctor without borders and like travel the world and help people. and just like leave where I was. I just wanted to desperately get out of that city. I didn't want to be around any of those people. I had a bit of an experience before I moved away, and maybe one day I'll share that with you, but it was hard. It was really hard. When I was 19, let me tell you, that was a hard year. And I remember I moved from Montreal to Toronto, and I was like, what am I doing? And it was like I had set off some sort of chain reaction, a sequence of events that I didn't even know was about to unfold. And it was like the best adventure. And I still feel like I'm living this epic adventure, even though it's like I'm sometimes a mundane kind of suburban housewife sometimes, but I still think there's adventure in that. And I love how things have played out. And I wish I could tell myself to like, don't worry so much. Don't be so concerned with what's coming next. Like, it's coming. So try to just stop and enjoy what's happening while it's happening. Because I was always like, well, should happen next, and this should happen next. And I try not to do that anymore. I really try to be present and stay focused and just enjoy the little things, because time is the hunter. It's still coming, right? Like you cannot slow it down. So if I could just be like, just zen, just try to enjoy it a little bit more. And with that, I feel like it all kind of plays onto the next one, but number 11 would be a yes man. Like, I always was, and I've always been very much like, yes, I'm gonna do this. Yes, I'm gonna try something new. I mean, when it's appropriate. Like, if you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. And I definitely, there was some things I could have said no to, but in most cases, like, do you wanna do something wild, like move to Vancouver? Yep. Do you want to try being in a relationship with the most awesome human you've ever met, but there's a huge age gap? Yep. Do you want to move to Malaysia? Yep. Like, all of these things I did say yes to. It wasn't the easiest decisions to make. Like, they were not easy things to just go, yeah. Like, it took a long time to process it. Sometimes I worried myself sick, which is like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen next? But I think I'm so glad that I said yes to all those things, because it allowed me to be where I am right now. And so, you know, just to stay the course, say yes, even though you feel nervous, do it anyway, you know? This next one is that, try not to get emotional just about to say it, but I wish I could tell young Amanda, who was very apprehensive about having a family, who was very nervous about just all of that potential of life, that honey, you will be a great mom. I had a really, really difficult relationship with my own mom, and we've come a long way, but there's a chapter of my life that I had to close a door on and accept that it was the way it was, and that I have no power to change the past, but I have the opportunity to be more in control of a relationship and decide how it's gonna play out. And so I made that decision. That was a very difficult, mature, grown-up decision to make. And I know that a lot of you are perhaps estranged from family members, and a mother-daughter relationship can be very strained and unique. It has the power to be amazing and beautiful, but it can also be very dangerous. And yeah, we had a really hard time, and it was really hard on me. And I, unfortunately, created doubt in myself about my abilities to be a mother. And I realized that since becoming a mom, that it's like my life's greatest accomplishment. And I don't compare myself to my own mother. I mean, I love her, but I feel like I have a strength within me that maybe I pull from ancestors, from the people I surround myself with, but I love my children so fiercely, and I'm so conscious of the way I parent and the decisions that I make, and I know that I'm a good mom. And that was a really difficult, I remember being pregnant with Esme and I was weeping. I was weeping to Dean, going like, I don't know if I'm capable of this role. I don't know if I'm the right person for the job. I was like 9 months pregnant, mind you. So there was no turning back at that point. But it was, I think sometimes if you're not so fortunate to have had that really blissful relationship with your own mother, there's a chance that you can doubt yourself. And I want to tell her that, baby, you're going to be great. They're just going nuts up there, so bear with me here. But I'm trying to have a moment, and they're being insane. But I think if you've had a difficult go in your youth, you'd have to let me know if you've ever felt this way. But there were times where I really, like, I hate to be so honest, because it's not embarrassing, but it's like, it's something I don't like to talk about. I don't like to think about negative past things. It's something I struggle with and I work on all the time. But I mean, there were some dark moments in my past, and there were times where we were, I feel like, in survival mode for financial reasons. And as a result, emotionally, you feel like you're going through this like dark phase. But I had a really, and still do have a really hard time to dream. I feel like when you've had this rougher kind of upbringing, it's hard to see beyond yourself, because when you're in survival mode, it's like day to day, check to check. Is there going to be enough food in the fridge? Like all these kinds of things. And wow, it's kind of vulnerable to share this information. Can I be honest? I feel a little bit exposed right now, but it's hard to dream. And I really struggled with that. And I just want to tell that sweet young girl, like, sweetheart, you can dream. You can dream things. Not everything is attainable, let's be honest. I feel like sometimes we send kids off with this illusion that they can be anything. No, that's not possible. There's a lot of variables to make you anything. You can get places, and it's hard, but we don't always have the finances or the means to do things. So I think we don't want to set people up for failure here. But you can still have dreams, and some of those dreams might not happen for 20 years, but you can still have them, and let yourself dream those things. And I wish I could tell her that. I still want to tell this girl that, because I still have troubles with that to this day. But anyway, that's a bit of a sensitive one. Yeah, that's a hard one. It's a hard one. Even as I wrote it, I thought I'd be able to convey it better, but I don't know. Let me know if you've ever felt like that. Yeah, we are who we are, and we're affected from our childhoods, and we get the choice to choose a different future, but we still have those feelings and we still have those experiences, and unfortunately you can't make them go away. But I feel like as we grow up, we can choose to not let them affect us anymore. So that's kind of a big one for me. Number 14, and this is one I feel like you learn as you go through life, but that certain friendships are designed to hold a specific time and place in your life, and they don't need to be forever. I think sometimes we can put a lot of energy into people, or we can feel really bad when friendships just kind of fizzle out, or in my case, you move and you separate distances from people and you're no longer just like able to grab a coffee with a person. It doesn't mean that that friendship is any less. I just think you treasure it for the time and place it held in your life, and you thank it for what it was, and you kind of like send it off good vibes into the universe. And if that person comes back into your life, that's okay too. But I think it's okay to just let things go and to be okay with that. And I would try to tell young Amanda, like, it's okay, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just the way life is, especially with me, I've lived in a lot of different places. I think it would be impossible, or just like, it's unrealistic to think that I'd be able to maintain all those different friendships when I leave cities and move around. And so I think it's important to like appreciate what it was, hold it dear in your heart, and move on. Number 15 is kind of the message I harp every single day to you guys, is that just be you. It's coming off the rails. But just be open to advice, be open to criticism, the good kind, be willing to self-reflect. But at the end of the day, just do you. Listen to your inner voice and just try to be your best person and live your best life and be kind and all of those wonderful things. And my bonus one is that there is never a bad time for a nap. Always take the nap. Deal? Deal. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. My battery is flashing at me. I want to know, what would be your top thing that you would tell your younger self? Leave me a comment below. I'm really curious to know, because I think we all come from different walks of life, different countries, different cultures, different experiences. We're at different phases of life even right now, and I would love to know what your top piece of advice would be for your younger self. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.